All right, so welcome to Two Birds and a Third weekend edition podcast thing that we have going on here. We have a few things that we are going to be talking about. First of all, we got Josh and we got Ricky. Ricky, what's this episode brought to us by? 'Cause you come
It's
with all the
brought to you
best.
by no wait. It's brought to you by Big Baller Brands, overpriced shoes that you can get at Goodwill.
Basically. All right, so we're going to discuss first and foremost undrafted free agents that our team has signed that we really like. First, second, we're probably going to discuss. No, we are going to discuss our favorite undrafted free agents in history that have been passed over in the draft and have succeeded during their careers. And then we are going to talk about Joe Mixon, and then we are going to discuss LeVar,
the Big Baller Brand.
the Big Baller Brand.
So, thank you guys for joining us. Ricky, why don't we start with you? Tell us some of your favorite undrafted free agents that the Dallas Cowboys got this year.
Okay, well, looking at this draft class and looking at who we got, one in particular, Cooper Rush. He's a quarterback out of Central Michigan. The reason why I'm interested in what he has to offer is because he looks like a possible good backup quarterback to Dak Prescott. We also got Jahad Thomas out of Temple. So those are two that I'm looking at that could possibly be key role players in the future. Other than that, all these other people are kind of just like camp bodies for the most part for competition. But those are the two that stand out because I'm hoping that we can get these two on our roster so we don't have to worry about having a backup quarterback. Also, who's going to be the second running back?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, undrafted free agents, like you said, are a lot of times camp bodies. It's not always about, if they're going to succeed. But, you do find some diamonds in the rough there. The Ravens got, I know, a big concern during the actual draft was wide receiver. And I know that we didn't address it, but we actually picked up 4 or 5 wide receivers from undrafted free agents. Not saying that any of them are going to be great, but there's a couple that I like. Tim Patrick from Utah. He's a big body guy, 6'5", 210. He's really going to help in the red zone for us. And Quincy Adebayo.
Attaboyo.
Boyardee.
Out of Ole Miss. He is 6'3", 195, so another big body guy. And then we got the linebacker Bam Bradley from Pittsburgh. And the only reason I bring him up is because what the Ravens do really well is pick up undrafted free agent linebackers like Bart Scott and Albert McClellan, Jameel McClain, and then last year Zachary Orr was an undrafted free agent as well. So that's what I'm excited for. So yeah, Hank, you?
Okay, so I think my favorite undrafted rookie free agent signing was probably Corey Clement from Wisconsin.
What does he play?
He plays running back. He was actually a guy who they expected would probably be drafted sometime in the 3rd round, but he ended up getting drafted. He ended up being undrafted, and that was like really a surprise to me because I remember seeing him play, and he was a beast. Like, he wasn't amazing, but he was a beast. Those are the dogs. But
Be careful. EDP might get him.
Yeah, no, but he did really well during the season. I remember he actually played pretty well in their I think it was the Big Ten championship game. He played pretty well in the first half. But I think that the biggest issue with him was the fact that he had off the field issues. I think he got into a brawl with somebody in his dorm. He had sports hernia surgery in 2015 and missed a lot of that season. And then he got into some issues, and that was his real problem. So that, and I think they also drafted a guy named Orlovsky or something like that. I think he's an offensive lineman, and the Eagles need offensive linemen, so that's really good. I don't know if his name's Orlovsky or something like that, but something Jewish like that.
Or Lefsky or
Or
something.
something like I'm trying to look up his name, but I couldn't find it in enough time. But Corey Clement, I feel like, is a guy who can step up and possibly be a starter at some point in this league because he's kind of built like a starter.
Mhm.
With the Eagles drafting Donnell Pumphrey, I foresee that guy being a possible return man / scat back, kind of like a Darren Sproles type, but not because Darren Sproles is huge. Like, he's small, but he's got bulk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but you know, Pumphrey is just a small thin guy.
Mhm.
But I feel like that could help us out later on as a team.
Mhm.
But those two, I feel like the Eagles addressed the wide receiver position a little bit with the kid from West Virginia and Mac Hollins from UNC. But I think that Corey Clement. I really wanted Matt Days, but DJ's Brown selected him at the second to last pick, or the last pick in the draft. I was like,
What position did he play?
He played running back.
Oh,
He
okay.
played for NC State.
NC State.
Kelly's
Matt
like,
Days,
oh
okay.
look, your boyfriend's on the TV.
Nick Foles?
No,
Your
Nick
other one?
Foles is
No,
my
that's his
man
friend with
crush.
benefits.
But it was just because I kept talking about him. I was like, oh, I want that guy. Oh, I want Matt Days. I want Matt Days. And knowing like college football, knowing how like, because I watched college football a lot last year. I think I knew about like 50 of the players who were drafted.
Yeah.
It just really sucked because
You
we
never
only
get-
drafted one of them.
Yeah, well, that's the only that I remember when I used to watch a lot of like college football as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
I remember I always felt that way. I would watch these guys every Saturday, and I'm like, I would love him on my team,
Mhm.
and then always be disappointed when
But
somebody
they
else
didn't
picked
draft
him.
him.
But even out of all those guys, most of them didn't end up being super great.
Mhm.
Except for AJ Green. I've always loved AJ.
Oh,
Green
AJ Green.
from Georgia.
Yeah, but now
So-
But
But now
the
he
draft
plays for the Bengals.
The draft is a crapshoot, and the thing that I've noticed, and I made a short discussion about it earlier in the week, and it's like the draft is just a crapshoot, and like people who claim to be experts on the draft, like you look back at all of the things that they've said, and it's just like no, like
Mel
no.
Kiper said Jamarcus Russell
Todd.
was the highest grade he has ever given a player coming out of college was Jamarcus Russell.
And same with that kid, the kid who was drafted to Carolina at Notre Dame. What was his name?
Which one?
The one who was playing with the Ravens this year. He was drafted in the year before Cam Newton came out, 2010.
Mallet?
Was it
No.
Jimmy Clausen?
Jimmy Clausen.
Jimmy Clausen.
He's gonna be
He
the
wasn't
best.
on the Ravens last year.
No, 2 years ago.
Yeah, Mel
he
Kiper.
played-
Mel
he started
Kiper and
for-
what's the other guy's name? Todd McShay. They're very low
Todd.
on my big board for
Yeah.
best draft analysts. I mean, no, I just don't understand it. It's just like like in the mock draft stuff, it's just like that's so pointless. Like I understand, like you have scouts that do that job where you got to look at what a player can do, can't do, strengths, weaknesses. I get it, and I understand. That's kind of what they're trying to do and trying to release that information publicly. But come on, man. I mean, you can make a
Yeah.
full-time job out of it,
Yeah.
and just to make up crap, be like,
Well, that segues perfectly into because you have all these guys who think they're great and they're going to give you the best guys. And these guys are all going to be top 10 players in the NFL. Every single time a top 10 player guy goes, they always I see him having a 10-year NFL career.
Yeah.
But then you have guys that are undrafted free agents who
And they have a 10-year
and they end up
career.
having
Yeah.
great careers.
Yeah.
I have a few written down. I know you guys do too.
Uh-huh.
Hank, who's your favorite undrafted free agent?
My favorite. It's like I just gotta like. He never won a Super Bowl, first of all, and I'm not picking the one. I'm leaving a certain one to Ricky because the guy's on his team. But wasn't Jeff Garcia an undrafted free agent?
yes,
Undrafted rookie?
he was in the CFL.
CFL.
in the
He was in the
CFL.
CFL, but then he came to the NFL.
Mhm. Yep.
I always remember Jeff Garcia as being like, I think I made a lot of nicknames for Jeff Garcia when he was
With
in
the
the league.
Niners?
He was in the Niners, and then he went to the Browns and he sucked.
Mhm.
He played great for the Niners,
Yeah,
and then he
yeah.
played for the Browns and he sucked, and he played for the Lions. But those two franchises at that time were extremely dysfunctional. They kind of still are today. And then he played for the Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Took both of those teams to the playoffs in back-to-back years, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
But the one thing I remember about Jeff Garcia is the fact that he had like a Playboy bunny wife, and I was like, I always thought that Jeff Garcia was gay. he's like, I remember seeing this one NFL Films thing where he was like, anyone got some gum? Can I get some gum? Bubble gum?
Wasn't that like a rumor going around though? For a while?
Terrell Owens was like, yeah, Jeff Garcia's gay, and then they started all that stuff.
Of course,
But
Tia would say that.
I called him the Liberty Bell when he was in Philadelphia. The Liberty Bell, Belle.
Did he have a crack in him?
Yeah, he had a little crack in it. I used to watch this one website called bangcartoons.com. Don't worry, it's not a porn site. It's basically it was a Redskins fan and a Cowboys fan who would make these NFL parody cartoons, and they were so fun. They made this thing called this like Justice League thing, but it was kind of like Justice League or like Super Friends kind of thing with like NFL players. Like they were like superheroes. Like the Bill Cowher's guy's name was Spitball, and Tiki Barber's guy's name was Fumble Man. Donovan McNabb's name was Chokey McPukington.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I have a couple, just because obviously there's been guys that the Ravens have picked up that I love, but probably the best one that's one of my favorites. I never got to watch him play, but I remember like hearing about him, and he's a record setter. Dick the Night Train Lane. He's a defensive back, and he played for the LA Rams. And he actually still holds the rookie record for most interceptions in the season with 14. And he finished his career with 68 career interceptions, which is just, I mean, that's incredible. But probably my favorite one that I've ever watched play is Priest Holmes. I loved watching Priest Holmes run. And he was an undrafted free agent, and that guy was awesome to watch play. So that would probably be my favorite. But Dick the Night Train Lane was just insane. And whenever I watch tape on him, and because I always wanted to be a defensive back, safety, and cornerback, so whenever I see his tape and stuff, it's awesome.
Priest Holmes played for the Ravens at the very beginning, right?
I think he played for the Ravens at the beginning and then for the Chiefs.
Okay, so we'll go on to Ricky. I think I know which one he's going to pick, so.
All right. My boy Tony Romo.
You's a Romo-sexual.
Tony Romo.
I was until Dak came along.
Oh.
Once you go Dak, you never go back. No, I'm playing.
You literally took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that.
No, but like Tony Romo, he's the reason why one of the reasons I became a Cowboys fan, other than my family being Cowboys fans, because the way he played his style of football, it was so impromptu-esque, and like, I understand he gets a bad rap, but like he was so entertaining to watch. And like I remember I was being him for like Halloween like a couple of years back or something. It was
did you get the jersey and the helmet and everything?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like I really liked, I'm gonna miss him obviously, because I really wished he would have won a Super Bowl, regardless if it was with the Cowboys or not. Because
he definitely deserved it, especially at the very end of his career.
Yeah,
because you could see that he started to get like better. He started to not throw as many interceptions. He like 30 touchdowns, like 10.
Yeah, and that was
and
mainly
and then the injuries started piling on.
It was mainly because the team was so dysfunctional, and by the time that the team finally got all back together and it was all good, his body broke down and he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I won't be surprised if worst case scenario, something horrible happens to Dak and we have to bring him back in, because I feel like that's what's happening with him. Like he's gonna be the backup from the booth.
Oh, like a Troy Aikman.
Yeah, and like I think when it comes to Tony, I hope he gets into the Hall of Fame. I think not first ballot. Absolutely,
he definitely won't be
but
first ballot.
But I think he'll squeak in, like, just be like, oh, here you go. like kind of like how Kurt Warner was. Like it's just gonna take some time.
But Kurt Warner was a 2-time MVP.
That's
So
the
a
that's the
little
thing.
bit
I
different.
thought he should have gotten it sooner.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
yeah, I just I'm gonna miss Tony. So like I wish him all the best.
Mhm.
And I hope if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, if it's not sometime in the next 5 years, they'll give him a ring. Like
they
like
do
Like
that?
I forget-
they got like they did it for Deuce McAllister.
yeah, kind of like
They
that.
did it for Deuce because he became a coach.
Oh, okay.
I always
Yeah,
thought
just be
Tony
like-
was just gonna be the quarterbacks coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you'd think you'd.
That's
make
what
that
I think.
transition, right?
But I mean, let's be honest here. Broadcasting, more money.
Yeah, he's gonna make a lot.
Yeah.
From that, so
The
yeah.
only issue is he'll be away a lot.
yeah.
If he was a coach, it might be the same. It'll be the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're
I just wanted to point out a couple more.
Okay,
And
yeah.
just some. I made a little bit of a list here. Here's some other undrafted free agents who
Okay.
ended up having great careers. Antonio Gates, future
Mhm.
Hall of Famer.
Kent State.
Warren Moon.
Ooh.
Warren Moon was an undrafted free
Yeah.
agent. Jason
Famer.
Peters, offensive lineman
For the
undrafted
Philadelphia Eagles.
for the Eagles.
The number one most false started offensive tackle in the National Football League.
Linebacker Bart Scott, Wes Welker, wide receiver, James Harrison for the Steelers. All those guys were undrafted free agents.
Every wide
so
receiver for the New England Patriots
Everyone from
currently.
New England Patriots.
Adam
Some of them didn't
Vinatieri.
even play football. They
They played lacrosse.
But Kurt Warner was throwing loaves of bread into bags.
Yeah,
at
he
the
was.
grocery
He was a
store,
bad.
so-
Well, he played for NFL Europe.
Mhm.
Didn't he play for the Arena League
I think,
and
yeah.
CFL?
Yes.
So he played for all
Mhm.
three.
Yeah,
And he was at a Packer. He was in Packers camp.
right.
He was in
right.
Packers camp, and they were like,
yeah.
We'll just mark it down to he played better than Brett Favre, and they didn't want to upstage their franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I feel like get out.
Adam Vinatieri is another one.
Adam Vinatieri,
He's won a couple Super Bowls, so
Mhm.
good for him.
4 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's been
Drew
to-
Pearson.
Hasn't he been to 6? He's been to
I think he's been to 5.
5 Super Bowls.
I think
He's been to 5.
He's been
Yeah.
to 5, he's won
Won
4. Because he
4.
won 1 with the Colts.
Yeah, 3 with the Patriots.
And then 3 with the Patriots.
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
You know,
That's pretty
you,
good.
You have kickers like Adam Vinatieri that don't get drafted, and then you get what the Buccaneers did last year.
What's his name?
Aguayo, Roberto
Aguayo,
Aguayo.
See,
Don't draft a kicker in the second round unless his name is
Ray Guy.
Seabass.
Ray Guy, the punter.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but Sebastian Janikowski was
Seabass is
drafted in
good
the
too.
first.
Yeah, Seabass.
He's
is good.
amazing.
Yeah, but at least
Well, Well, Seabass, the thing about him was he used to get drunk with Kerry Collins before games.
Yeah,
And that really
the fat drunken Polish guy.
yeah, the fat drunken Polish guy.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a little break here.
Do you want if you guys are in the chat and you want to ask us some questions, we can go for that. Do you want
Yeah,
to do that?
absolutely.
All right, cool. So
yeah, that's fine.
we're taking
I'll
a
take it.
break. If you have any questions, if you have anything we want to discuss right now, we'll discuss it.
Yeah. Any questions? Anything you guys want us to talk about?
Any concerns?
We're okay with it.
Anything like that. Oh, I do have one thing to say. I was watching this thing. Speaking of like superheroes, I was watching this Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Yeah.
He was doing he was at like a Comic-Con kind of thing, and the guy asked him, "Can you do Heath Ledger's Batman in your voice? Can you say why so serious?" And he's
Heath
like,
Ledger.
"Why so serious, Bats?" Heath Ledger, Heath Ledger quote from Batman.
Uh-huh.
Have him do it.
Oh, okay.
He's like, "Why so serious, Bats?"
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then
Mark Hamill's good.
And then
yeah.
he did another thing where he was like, I don't like the prequels, but I hate how people always bash George for it, and Lucas. They always bash Jake Lloyd too, because everyone remembers. You go back and like, Jake Lloyd was bullied in school because he played Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. Like, don't go after an actor. Don't go after an actor, especially when he was like 8
Yeah.
years old when he
Yeah.
played for a part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It's not his. Yeah, it's not his fault. He doesn't like sand.
Right.
Like like I remember seeing an interview he did in Australia, and this guy went up to him and started talking about Star Wars. And like I think Jake Lloyd is like a game designer now or something like that, but he got a DUI or he did something he got arrested
Got in
like
trouble.
2
He
years
got in
ago.
trouble.
But like before that, the guy was like, so how do you feel playing Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars? And he's just like, fuck off.
I hate you.
Just was not happy about it.
He's like, okay, so that's Jake Lloyd. He's really messed up. Thanks, George. But yeah, anyone post something that you want us to.
You guys want to post the questions, and then when we come back from the break, we can answer any questions too.
Oh.
So that's fine. Yeah.
You guys a fan of the film Hook? Hell yeah.
Who doesn't love Hook?
Hook is like
such
a great
Right?
Rufio.
Actually, the film is very mediocre at best. No, I'm playing. It's actually a really good film.
It's a great film just because like I feel like there was like nothing. That was like one of the first big box office Peter Pan movies that wasn't like a play or something like that. It was just such a great like seeing.
We got corrected. Yeah, Edelman was
drafted,
but he converted from quarterback to wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think it was a good box office. It was like a success because you get to see Peter Pan, and like we all know Peter Pan is the guy who's like, Neverland and fairies and witches and flying, and then like
drugs,
he grows up to be Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But do you have a favorite scene from that movie or a favorite quote from that movie?
No favorites. I
don't have favorites. I like it all.
I love how Dustin Hoffman played Captain Hook.
Yeah.
He's like just because like he's like you wouldn't expect Dustin Hoffman to play like a Captain Hook. Like every time I see Dustin Hoffman now, I think of like Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
Or like what else was he? Oh, he was in The Graduate. What was that movie?
I was thinking Rain Man.
Rain Man and The Graduate. Remember is that what the movie was called?
I don't know.
It was like, you're seducing me, Mrs. Robinson. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna take a little quick 5-10 minute break here. Just
right.
And then we're gonna come back and answer any questions. If you guys leave some questions in the comments, we'll get back to them. So
Okay.
Thank you guys. We'll be back.
All right. I'm just gonna leave it on.
Mute it.
What?
Just mute it.
Yeah.
Did you mute it?
Mute what? Oh, okay, the chat. That's right. I'm so smart.
So smart.
I'm smart.
Oh my god.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to do that because I haven't done that before. Is this how you
Through the computer.
Where did Joe Mixon go?
Joe Mixon went to Oklahoma. No, hopefully.
No, it's NFL.
Oh, Bengals. Hopefully, when Sidney Jones gets back, everything will be okay. I don't see them rushing Sidney Jones back. By the way, we're back, but I don't see them rushing Sidney Jones back because I want him to heal as fast as, or not as fast as humanly possible, but as well as humanly possible, just so that
make sure that he's healthy.
Yeah, just make sure that he's healthy, because the worst thing that could possibly happen is he's not healthy, and then you're screwed. You're screwed out of a draft pick.
Because you don't want to rush somebody back from an Achilles injury.
No.
He tore his ACL apparently.
No,
I'm just joking around. I know he didn't, but some people want to make it seem like
It's not as bad as a Jalen Smith injury.
Oh yeah.
Which was fun.
Linebacker?
Yeah, the linebacker from Notre Dame.
Is he gonna play at all?
He
Yes.
should play next season.
And he got drafted by
Dallas.
Dallas in the second round.
But the issue with him is that they didn't know if his nerve was gonna regenerate. I remember the doctor was like, "We're praying to God."
Yeah.
I was like, I hope God's enough for that.
But then it ended up being science and medicine. So
Yeah, it ended up being science and medicine. Good old science and medicine.
Also, someone brought up, the supplemental draft mean undrafted? No, it's just basically it's a smaller draft for players that didn't commit but then committed. So they didn't enter the regular draft.
Terrell Pryor was taken in the supplemental draft.
Mm-hmm.
Because, because in Ohio State, he had an issue with selling or autographing or selling merchandise or something like that. And who was the coach back then at Ohio State?
I don't remember.
Tressel. Jim Tressel.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he left the team, so he was basically Terrell Pryor was just like, all right, I'm going into the NFL. He ended up supplemental draft to the Raiders. I'm not sure if he played some in 2011, but I remember they had Jason Campbell that year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then he played after that.
Yeah, he played after that. He's wide receiver for the Washington Redskins. I mean, good for him. I mean, he's a target for Kirk Cousins, so
he made it work.
Yeah. All right, so we are officially back from our break, and we are going to be discussing Joe Mixon. Now, I've been looking around the internet, the interwebs, and seeing people have been especially Eagles fans really wanted Joe Mixon, and there was a controversy with the team whether or not, they were going to draft him. First it was no, we're not going to draft him. And then they were like, okay, it's okay. The Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, was like, it's okay if you draft him. But I knew that he wasn't going to go to a big market city. Because Philadelphia is one of the top 5 big market cities because there's a sports team. There's a sports team for every professional sport in the city, including soccer. So it was I didn't think they were gonna draft him. I would have been like, yeah, cool. Draft if he fell to us. I was like, he's a great talent.
Yeah.
And then when he didn't get drafted, I really wanted Samaje Perine. I think Perine has the chance to have a better career than Mixon.
You think so?
Yeah, because he was also a talented player at Oklahoma, and he played well. I mean, he set the record for the most rushing yards in a game at one point at Oklahoma, and he's going to the Redskins. I think the Redskins have a decent offensive line at least, and their quarterback situation is in limbo. But back to Joe Mixon. I think Cincinnati, honestly, is the best place for him, if you think about it.
Because of all the other convicts?
Yeah, it's like the longest yard crew.
Yeah.
It is, but at the same time, Cincinnati doesn't have a huge media presence.
Yeah, especially because they're going to be bad this year, but...
Well, that's up in the air. But
my prediction.
But I think that his issue was, and I'm not advocating for what he did at all, because it's a horrible thing that he did. He lost his it comes to a point where he wasn't defending him. Like, you could say, oh, it was self-defense, but there's a point in time where you're not defending yourself when, like, someone who's 120 pounds goes up to you, slaps you in the face, and you're just like, boom!
Yeah.
Just like hit her face, her head hit the table, and she broke her jaw. Like, there's no excuse for that, but at the same time, I felt like there were way worse players in this draft than him. Way worse. I mean, he was. If you could boil his situation down to possibly like being at the wrong place at the wrong time and having the wrong move, being in the wrong state of mind. Because I don't think he's a woman. I don't think he's a woman beater, but he definitely should pay for what he did.
Here's how I look at it. I look at it as he got in more trouble because, first of all, it got on video, and they had it on video, so everyone could tell that he did this. It's when people see it happen, it hits a lot harder for people. So when people see it, and the whole wrong place, wrong time, I don't think he's a woman beater, but all that showed to me was that he can't collectively keep his cool. He doesn't understand how to de-escalate a situation. Leave.
Yeah.
Leave.
Get
I
out.
don't care what she said. I don't care what was going on. Leave. If you're in that situation.
Well, it was she was standing there. Have you seen the video?
Yes.
So she was standing there. It was like, I forget what establishment it was, but it was like a Subway. It was like a sandwich place. It was like a late night sandwich place.
Yeah.
She was there. He went up to her. She, like, called him names. She, like, slaps him right there. And then he just goes, boom,
And clocks her.
So he clocks her. I mean, I would say, do you think that's better or worse than the Ray Rice situation?
I think they're both horrible.
Yeah.
I think any of those situations, when you get into a situation like that just shows me, first of all, you have no respect for other people.
Yeah.
Second off, you don't know how to control yourself and you don't have a handle on your emotions. And third of all, you make horrible decisions. That's literally, and I'm talking about any player, even Ray Rice, who I used to love. When that came out and the Ravens dropped him, I was one of the people that's like, deserved it.
Yeah.
I mean, what he did was absolutely unacceptable. And I think the NFL has a big problem with the fact that they'll suspend a player an entire year for smoking weed, but they will literally not care if you beat your wife. And I think that's a huge problem in the NFL. And I honestly could not care less if Joe Mixon didn't even get drafted. And some people are like, give him another chance. He made a mistake. Well, sometimes the mistakes you make, you have to pay for it. And some mistakes have higher consequences. And if that was the consequence, I would have not even batted an eye.
I think the biggest issue with the two situations is the fact that Joe Mixon ran, and I mean whether you think or not that Ray Rice was trying to help her out, wasn't he carried her out of the elevator?
Well, yeah.
I mean, but the reason why the Eagles didn't draft him was because last year they had 4 incidents involving players in which the police were involved. We all remember Nelson Aguilar at the strip club, who he got accused of sexually assaulting a stripper, which it ended up very likely being like a non-issue. I know a lot of Eagles fans wish that he was like guilty because he sucks, but like I've teetered on and on about that, but I'm not gonna say that I fall into that camp. I more wish one of the latter situations. You had Nigel Bradham, who was a linebacker who assaulted a guy with an umbrella in South Florida, and then he brought a gun tried to get a gun past security, and then Josh Huff, who was the wide receiver / kick returner, who I'm a little more pissed off that this happened. He had weed, he had an unregistered gun, and he was on a bridge in New Jersey, and
wasn't he speeding too?
Yeah, he was speeding, but it was like really dumb. I wish that happened to Nelson Aguilar, so that we could have cut a reason to cut the guy. But just because Josh Huff brought more to the team than Nelson Aguilar ever brought, but it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation either way, because you look at it as these players really made the organization look bad, which is why nobody with
Mhm.
character issues was drafted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
You don't,
yeah.
especially because it's a business.
Yeah.
Ricky, your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just about to. So this whole quote that pretty much summarizes the situation is perception is reality.
Mhm.
Regardless what you think Joe Mixon, if he was in the right or wrong, regardless what you think if he was self-defending himself or he's a woman beater, it's still on tape. People are going to think that he escalated the situation. So perception is reality. I mean, I understand that he is a very talented player, but the problem is that and I was talking about this earlier about how him getting integrated into certain locker rooms might be an issue because primarily he was being mocked mostly to Philly. A lot of people thought Philly was going to take him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But unless, like you said, there are already issues. I guarantee. I would say that if the issues didn't happen with Philly, there is a chance they would have probably picked him up.
Uh-huh.
But regardless of that, you have a situation where you have a young rookie quarterback, and I'm not saying it's going to impact him directly, but in the sense that he has to worry about a locker room body that has a temper that is uncontrollable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that can hurt Carson Wentz in that he has to set his mind into keeping control of the locker room rather than and he has to do that of course, but also trying to improve his own game.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
when it comes to the situation, I thought if Joe Mixon, if this situation never happened and he was coming into this draft scot-free, I would say he's probably the best running back in the draft. But unfortunately, this stuff happens, and regardless if you think that he was in the right or in the wrong, that doesn't matter in society as much as that pains me to say. I do, I think that, it sucks because sometimes you got to defend yourself, but you don't need to punch someone in the face.
No,
Yeah.
your best defense
is pushing.
Your best defense
Or
is
walking away.
getting out of the situation that's putting you in a dangerous situation.
If he had walked away, then that shows that he has control, and that was what I would have done. If someone was trying to physically assault me, I would have walked away or tried to find help.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. He escalated the situation. So regardless, if you're someone that thinks, oh, he was in the right, the lady deserved
trying
no.
to defend himself.
Yeah.
And she deserved
I understand.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I understand, and I thought he was defending himself, but he didn't need to do what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And many people don't think about that. It's like, regardless if you think what he did was justifiable or not, you don't do that because people will bite you. That will. So I mean,
it's like a career killer, and of course Oklahoma kept it from.
I mean,
if Joe Mixon was like a redshirt guy, bench warmer, he would have been cut from the team.
Yeah, and just one last thing. When it comes to the Ray Rice situation in this, the reason why I think Ray Rice was a bit more interesting was because wasn't he drunk? Right?
Yeah.
Was he drunk?
But weren't they both drunk?
They were both drunk, I thought. But regardless of the situation,
what I'm saying both of them were players were drunk at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah.
But
you mean both the players? I thought you meant Ray Rice and his wife. I'm like, regardless.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It doesn't matter if they're both drunk. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
they were drunk in Atlantic City
and
at a casino.
She spat in his face, said an expletive. I think she slapped him, and then he was just like, Ray Rice, cold cock.
Yeah.
And Ray Rice is probably one of the strongest running back at that time, one of the strongest running backs in the league.
Yeah.
Not to mention he was coming off a Super Bowl. Wasn't he coming off a Super Bowl season?
Yes.
No. 2 years previous was the Super Bowl.
No, he won the Super Bowl, and then after that, we got rid of him.
Yeah, it was after. Yeah.
No, you had him for you won the Super Bowl. It was 2013, and then after the summer of 2014, he did this.
Yeah, he had one
season after. He had one
off
season.
He had one bad season after the Super Bowl, and then so.
Yeah. So just to segue into our next topic in regards to not like Dalvin Cook and his situation.
Yeah.
With the whole dog situation, if you want to explain how that went down.
Okay, so the thing is that Eagles fans thought that because I wanted Corey Davis. Josh wanted Corey Davis too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Corey Davis was picked too early, but I still think he's going to be a good
I think
player.
it was too early.
I think he caused a lot of other teams to pick guys way too early, like John Ross, again, another pick by the Bengals. But
10th pick.
But at the same time, like, a lot of Eagles fans also wanted Dalvin Cook, and a lot of mock drafts had Dalvin Cook going to either the Eagles or the Colts, and both teams passed on. I thought that was a possibility. Like, I would like a talent like Dalvin Cook, but the problem is Dalvin Cook is a straight degenerate.
Yeah.
The guy took puppies, the guy chained the puppies up, choked them, and left them there. Like, horrible, absolutely horrid. Like, that even transcends a Michael Vick thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, yeah.
The difference was Michael Vick owned up to it.
It transcends, and he's had time for that too.
Yeah.
It just it's like you have to be in the frame of mind of like, what are you thinking? And he did it in like high school or something like that. Yeah. Like at the end of
was it in high school?
It might have been high school. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So I guess he could try to prove a young and dumb thing, but like he's still young and he's still dumb. But like I think he did a bunch of other things too. I really didn't read up on what else he did, but I remember D.D. Westbrook was also an issue too.
I think in terms of this, I think that these kids should be held more accountable.
Sorry to cut you off, but in case you're wondering his legal issues, when he was in his freshman year, he was charged with criminal mischief after he was in a BB gun incident, which resulted in him breaking car windows. Mm-hmm. The puppy issue. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So they had to remove him from wherever he was living, and he also punched a woman in a Tallahassee bar in a confrontation.
Yeah.
So yeah,
straight degenerate.
I just want to fill you guys in on that.
No, I just think that these college players, they need to be held more accountable for these kind of actions. It's not fair that these guys do horrible things to people, and they should be in trouble. I mean, if it was any other situation, it would be a huge deal. But because they're such good athletes, everyone just tries to overlook it. Mm-hmm. They need to be made an example of, so people growing up and kids don't think that they can get away with this stuff and think that,
absolutely,
because I'm a good athlete, it'll be okay. That shouldn't be the frame of mind. Your frame of mind should be, you should be a good person and be a good athlete. It shouldn't be, I can be a crappy person because I'm such a good athlete. I think these kids need to be punished more. I think that if you have a felony or if you get in trouble with the law while you're in college, you don't get to be drafted. You have to go as an undrafted free agent.
I think
and if a team wants to take a flyer on you,
it's like suspended from the draft.
I think you should be suspended for a season or possibly 2 seasons. But the thing is,
not in college. You can't suspend a kid for 2 seasons in college. You can't suspend a college. Because then there's no more college career. That's what I'm saying. Like you're right. If you get in trouble and you want to suspend them their rookie year or something like that in the NFL, but Hank, some of these guys.
I think a guy like Joe. I think I was telling Kelly this. I think that they should be suspended. I think that they should be forced to sit out if they had a major issue, a felony issue, not like a misdemeanor. Mm-hmm. I think they should have to sit out a whole season.
Yeah,
I think it should be like,
and you shouldn't get all these rookie bonuses and all these high draft pick bonuses. No, you should have to be picked up as an undrafted free agent and sit out your year. You can still train with the team and stuff like that. You can't play in any games.
What a team is going to do is they're going to put a player like that on their practice squad.
What do you mean?
They're gonna, because it's an undrafted player. They would pick the player up in free agency.
They want to put it on the official roster. But they would put it on the practice squad.
There's a whole bunch of issues that surrounds that.
Well,
but I agree.
They need to be punished more. Yeah. So they also
as fans, as football fans, because I know there are some people, a certain Eagles fan, not you, Hank. Certain other one that doesn't care about that kind of stuff.
No, he doesn't.
Regardless of what the person does, all we care about is that they're a good football player. Number one, we shouldn't let our sports fanhood get in the way of trying to stop crap that's like this that happens.
Absolutely.
It's our job as football fans to enjoy the product but celebrate the product that's justifiably earned
Right.
in that
A good
in that
product.
like they get it the right way. They are a good citizen. Like Dak Prescott, for example, he's a good citizen. He does a lot of stuff with kids and stuff. You know, like doing that kind of stuff is what we applaud.
Right.
You know, that's as sports fans. That's what we applaud. We shouldn't be applauding people just because of their pure athleticism, and that's also an issue in our society.
If they're a horrible person, like as an individual, as a human being, they're a horrible person. I could care less how good of an athlete you are.
Yeah.
I hate Greg Hardy. I think he is scum of the earth. I don't care
Absolutely.
how good he was. I could care less if I saw him on a football field ever again.
Yeah.
Like,
I was so upset when the Cowboys picked him up too.
Yeah.
I was like, this is ridiculous. I could care less if the guy gets 20 sacks in a season.
Yeah, and
The dude is horrible.
I think but I thought that was, I mean, I kind of felt bad for like guys like who like did one incident. With the thing with Greg Hardy was he beat his girlfriend countless times.
Yeah.
Same with what was his name? Josh Brown?
Who?
The kicker for the Giants.
Yeah.
Who the Giants the Giants just pretended that never happened.
Yeah.
Like they knew about it, they had journals, they had all that stuff, and then they were just like
nothing happened. Yeah.
I'm John Mara. I'm NFL royalty. Count the rings.
Yeah. So, but I think they just need to. It needs to be a change in culture, and I think you're absolutely right, Ricky. I think as fans, we need to not really stand for the fact that these guys are great athletes, but that doesn't.
By the before we continue,
I think he alleged. Didn't he allege that he got a DUI?
No, what happened was that there's an alleged case that he got a DUI, but the charges were dropped because there wasn't sufficient evidence to prove that he was drunk.
Yeah.
Well, but regardless, that like situations like that, I think you mentioned like the smaller situations.
That's a DUI though, like no felony DUI.
Felony DUI.
But here's the thing: a DUI drinking is something that college people do. You can't. Most people drink. Not most people shouldn't attack other people. Yeah. That's the difference. Is that a DUI or something like that is different than actually attacking people or hurting people.
Can't you also get a DUI if the driver is drunk and then you're a passenger and you're also drunk?
No. Hank,
no, I don't think so.
You could get in trouble.
How could you get in trouble?
But the thing is that I'm sorry to cut you off, but the whole Dak Prescott situation is that when it came to his samples of the breathalyzer, both of them were invalid sample. One was an invalid sample, the other was an insufficient sample.
And also the breathalyzer can't count against you in a court of law. Yeah.
So I mean, you got to understand that like those are situations like that where it's kind of like.
But it is a good question though because that's.
Oh no, I understand, but
that's what everybody was told because I remember hearing about that until Kelly was like, no, and she's smarter than me, so. Yeah.
Well, I looked into the situation and like. It's not like this is the thing. If Dak Prescott was actually arrested and prosecuted, that's different. But you have situations like La'el Collins, for example, and like when he got framed, like something with his girlfriend getting killed or something, and like he ended up going undrafted, and it was nothing related to him.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that hurts.
The Gary and Conley thing just flared up.
Yeah, and that was they're thinking that it was like
because originally he said. He didn't do anything, but now he's saying that it was consensual. They actually had consensual sex, which wasn't what he said before. Well, and his friends lied about it his friends like, they didn't do anything.
We'll see. He took a polygraph test, and
that's right. That he did take a polygraph.
Here's also the thing. I don't listen to any rumors. Give me cold hard facts.
Right.
Give me information.
Exactly.
Give me a real trial. Accusations are accusations, and that's all they are until you prove to me otherwise.
But the thing is, it would just suck if.
Then he'll pay for it.
No. For the Raiders.
Well, then he'll pay for it.
No.
And the Raiders will pay for it.
No, I know. It's just.
It wouldn't suck. That's how it goes.
No. I know, but it. Like,
I have no sympathy for bad people.
No, I know.
Sympathy.
I know, but. As a fan of a team that just used a first round pick on
why?
someone.
Why would you feel bad? They took
no.
the risk.
You don't feel bad. Like it would suck for you as a fan of that team.
Yeah.
So
here's the
guys,
thing, I would-
question: do they deserve
neither
a second
would I.
chance? Do college athletes deserve a second chance?
Do college athletes?
Like does a young college athlete deserve a second chance? Like, or should I think that's a
Absolutely.
depends.
But it also depends on the crime, you know? Yeah, okay, you're a college kid, you get caught with one DUI. It happens, it shouldn't. Don't drink and drive, call a cab, get an
call-
Uber,
yeah.
get a Lyft, something
Yeah.
like that. But that's, to me, that's not on the same level as assault or like burglary. If you get caught like stealing from people, you're a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Stealing's just a bad thing, like to the core.
Yeah,
like
to
that's
the core.
Yeah,
you're
and that's the
taking-
thing. Yeah.
without giving, you know, that's so
It's bad.
it all depends. If you get in trouble for like a minor thing, it's one thing, but if it's like a serious crime, obviously. But sometimes I feel like
Mhm.
these crimes just get settled out of court,
Mm-hmm.
and then we don't think about it anymore. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. All right.
yeah.
So speaking of crime, let's talk about Big Baller, whatever the last word is.
the big baller brand trying to
Brand.
sell you shoes for
I-
$490.
That's criminal. I'm telling you.
Imagine how much money they pay like Chinese factory
Okay.
workers. for
So
those
I just
shoes.
want to let you kind of just a little fill in.
Yeah,
So basically, in case you guys don't know, Lonzo Ball, well, actually his father LeVar Ball, has decided to go independent with his own brand after I think Nike turned him down or whatever.
Nike, Under Armour, and Adidas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So the point is that basically he decides to go independent. So he unveils this new shoe, like T-shirts and stuff. So the shoe is what we're aiming on, like the ZO2s.
Yeah.
And basically, in the ZO2s, they're priced at $4.95 a piece, and a lot of people are kind of glaring at it and like, what the heck's going on?
Mhm.
Because some people even own like stars like Shaq and like Shaq, like they're calling him out. So, in my opinion, and I think Shaq made this quote on Twitter, and I completely agree with him. Real big baller brands don't overcharge kids for shoes.
Yeah.
And I mean, for God's sake, the shoes look like you can get them at Goodwill, like I said earlier.
Yeah. No. They don't.
So, because they don't look that impressive for $500, and you don't get any refunds.
No. Nothing.
I thought you were gonna say that the tweet was the Earth is flat.
No.
Well, that too, but okay.
But LeVar Ball was actually, he came out after the price was released and everyone was saying, like, why would you do that? And instead of being understanding, he says, if you can't afford it, then you're not a real baller.
Yeah. You know what's funnier?
You just
If you saw-
alienated your
You know
whole
what?
fan base.
You know what? That guy, and it sucks because from what I've heard, his oldest son, Lonzo, who's probably the best out of the three brothers right now, he's actually a really good kid. Really liked by all of his teammates. No one's really had anything bad to say about him. And it's just sad because I know LeVar is trying to get the publicity and he's one of those people that legitimately believes any publicity is good publicity. It doesn't matter if he sounds stupid, what he says. People are talking about it. I mean, we're doing it right now. We're literally doing it. But at the same time, eventually, he's going to put his foot in his mouth so badly that he is going to destroy the image, not only of himself, but he's going to destroy
his sons.
He's going to destroy his son's image, and that's what he's trying to build, and he's not going to be able to build
He's
it.
putting
so.
his kid on a pedestal.
I-
honestly,
yeah.
his kid would probably be successful without all this
He would be.
BS.
He would be.
Yeah, I think what's also interesting, it's not the fact that this is, like, it's not like we're talking about a star like Steph Curry. No, this is an unproven commodity. For all we know, Lonzo Ball could be a complete bust. I'm not hoping on that.
He's only played
But-
1 year of college ball, right?
Yeah,
And
he's
that was
doing the
that's
the
like-
1 year
yeah,
thing.
The 1 year thing. The
Yeah.
1 year thing in the because you only have to play
One and done.
You only have to play your freshman season and be 19 years old or something like that.
No, 'cause
Yes.
You can get drafted straight out of high school,
No, you
like
can't.
LeBron James.
No,
No,
they
you
don't
can't.
do
They
that
know they
anymore.
passed the new
they
thing where you
changed
have
that?
to at
They
least
changed
attend
that.
1 year of
Okay.
college.
Okay.
Which I like the fact that they changed that. Except you get in a situation like with Kentucky where like Kentucky has like a whole new starting five lineup every year.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I just think this is ridiculous. I mean, it's like, this is horrible. What you're like, well, not horrible. I mean, there are worse things, but I just think it's ridiculous
Yeah.
how you're like I was talking to my mom about this, and she's like, "This is ridiculous." Like this kid's father trying to mooch off of him.
It is. It's just, and you can tell because he first tried to push a deal saying that he wanted a shoe deal with all three of his sons for $1 billion. All three of them, $1 billion.
Mhm.
He wanted $1 billion for all three of his sons. One of them
Yeah.
is still in high school.
I know.
Oh,
mean-
breaking news! Breaking news! By the way, James Harden appears hurt.
Ooh, that's shaking. That's
Houston.
gonna shake things up.
Houston, we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
But getting back to this whole situation, it's like you're mooching off of your kid's success. I mean, the guy like only averaged 2 points in like
and he tried to
college.
And he tried to say something along the lines of, "I could
Well-
have taken Jordan in my prime."
Yes,
Like, dude,
and this is
okay.
something we need to try and raise awareness for these. Like for example, Fox, First Take.
Uh-huh.
They need to stop giving this guy a pedestal.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna keep talking
Yeah.
and he's gonna keep building his brand.
we-
Like we're talking about it, but it's not like we're,
We're not ESPN.
We already need to stop giving what you said. It's not First Take. It's the thing on Undisputed, right? We need to
Yeah,
stop,
Undisputed
stop
and-
giving
yeah.
Skip Bayless a platform
That's
because
true.
that guy's a moron. Let's talk about a guy who's like RG3 is gonna be good. Johnny Manziel's
gonna be
Tim Tebow's better than Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a
Brady.
real Cowboys fan, but then I'm a real Cowboys fan.
Skip Bayless is my least favorite person ever.
I hate
if-
Stephen A.
if- to
Smith
say-
more,
to-
honestly.
Who? Which one do you hate more?
I hate
Skip
Stephen A. Smith because
Skip
at least Skip's entertaining.
They're the same person.
They're the
to
same
me.
person, but like Skip
They're the
Bayless,
same person, yeah.
Skip Bayless makes me like Stephen A. Smith, which I really hate to say because every time something happens, it's always like a huge race issue. It always brings me back to the whole like Chip Kelly gets rid of LaShawn McCoy and like includes Riley Cooper, and it's like that's racist. And it's like, well, he also got rid of Evan Mathis and he's white.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, I guess do we have anything else to talk about before we get into our last segment?
Are we gonna do?
Buy or sell. That's our last segment,
Yeah,
unless we have anything else to talk about.
Do you have any buys or sells for us?
Yes, I do.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay, some of I don't have any kind of pop culture because of what's been going on.
Uh-huh.
So, first one, buy or sell. Big baller brand goes bankrupt.
I buy that. They absolutely will, unless they can't keep it independent. If they try to stay independent, they will go bankrupt. Absolutely. People aren't going to buy $495 shoes because your kid hasn't proven anything besides that he played for UCLA.
Yeah.
That's
Here's the thing: if his, what's his son's name?
Lonzo.
If Lonzo Ball is a beast in his first season, I'm gonna sell that because I think I'm gonna go with the possibility that he's just gonna be a beast in his first year, and they just get smart and lower the price of the shoe.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I'm gonna go the opposite of that.
so you're gonna sell.
I'm gonna sell it.
Ricky, what about
Okay.
you?
Before we get to that, by the way, James Harden's back in the game. Don't
Okay,
worry,
good.
Houston fans.
You can exhale now.
No, but I'm kind of on the fence on a buy right now
Mhm.
because I feel like it's the reason why it's weird with the term bankrupt, and I should have worded this differently, is because the thing is that we don't know. Like for all we know, this could just be a brand that's just on the lower tier level and it's still existing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably buy it, honestly, because I don't think it's gonna turn out that well. I'm not hoping for the worst, but I just don't think that it's sustainable.
Mhm.
So next buy or sell, this is going to pertain also to Mr. Lonzo Ball. Buy or sell, his draft stock, he will fall in the NBA draft due to this.
Due to his dad.
Buy or sell.
I sell that. I think that he'll do fine in the draft. I still
Yeah.
think that Lonzo's going to go in the top 10 of the draft.
Yeah,
I still
same.
think he's going to go in the top
Okay.
10.
I'm gonna sell that. I'm gonna sell for or
Yeah,
sell
definitely.
for the same reason.
Especially because the NBA draft is nothing like the NFL draft, So
Yeah, and it's not like he was like an off the court issue.
yeah,
It's just it's like a situation where you have like an RG3's dad or a Cam Newton's dad, like because those guys also tried to profit off of their kids.
yeah.
Like what RG3's dad was like in the locker room all the time, and he was like getting field passes with Daniel Schneider.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell that.
Okay, another one. Buy or sell. Tony Romo will be a worse announcer than Jay Cutler.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. Jay
That's
Cutler is
right.
an announcer. We totally forgot about that.
Yeah, it just happened this week. But yeah, I think that Tony Romo will be better than Jay.
So you're gonna sell?
I mean, I think he'll throw less interceptions than Jay Cutler.
I'm gonna leave now. No, I'm playing.
I think that. Honestly, I don't know why Jay Cutler is an announcer. I've never heard him speak.
I was about to say. I don't even know.
He's just gonna sit there silent the whole time.
They're definitely gonna put him in like the worst games. Like Fox is getting.
You mean Chicago's games with Mitch Trubisky?
Yeah, he's gonna cover all their games.
Fox is getting a really bad announcer, and like a lower tiered player coming out, and CBS is getting Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for the Texans because I think the Texans were genuinely trying to go after both of those guys.
Yeah, you think that
they're like, oh. Well.
But they ended up getting Deshaun. So
yeah, Watson.
They traded for him.
They traded up for him.
They literally what they give away their first and second round.
It's first and second round picks. Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be better?
The Browns
Mahomes or Watson?
Mahomes?
Yeah.
You're taking my buy or sell questions. No.
Oh, was that one of your buy or sells?
There was two. There was like three more.
We'll move on to it. Okay. So
it's buy or sell. Patrick Mahomes will be a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
Ooh, Go ahead, Hank. Go ahead. You go first.
I'm gonna go with Mahomes.
You're gonna go with Mahomes being better.
Well, it's just because I think that.
Where did Mahomes go to? The
Kansas
Chiefs?
City.
Kansas City.
They both went to like decent, really good defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean.
But I think Andy Reid's a better offensive. Coach for somebody than.
Well, that's
Deshaun.
a little bit debatable. I think Mahomes will have more of a chance to learn behind Alex Smith, and I think that will be really good for him. But Watson's just gonna get thrown to the wolves.
Well,
he's got Tom Savage.
They're saying that they have to compete, and who knows, dude? The NFL level is so much faster than the college football level. So who knows? Well, but I'm going to sell that Mahomes will be better than Deshaun Watson, just because I think Deshaun Watson's been under the pressure and he's kind of been in those bigger situations.
Yeah.
So I think he'll adjust a little bit.
I also think Mahomes was drafted too early.
Too early, yeah.
For a guy on a team that was like 6-6,
mm-hmm.
or no, weren't they 5-8? I think
Mahomes.
I think 5 and 7? No, 5-7. Because I think they went to a bowl game. I think Texas Tech might have gone to a bowl game, but only because yeah. Only
next
because
buy or sell question, I'll look it up.
They were like
better
than another team.
And then for me, I'm gonna probably sell because I feel like I think Deshaun's gonna be a better quarterback. I just think maybe like if you compare their first year starting, probably Mahomes will probably have a better one, considering he'll be a much more developed product rather than being raw.
Yeah.
But I think in the long run, I would take Deshaun Watson. But, again, it's like these two could probably flop, be the next greatest quarterbacks. Who knows?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I consider Mahomes to be more of a Donovan McNabb style quarterback.
Yeah, and I think he'll fit very well with Andy Reid. I think, and like I've been saying this a bunch of times, I think he has the highest ceiling but the lowest floor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for the final buy or sell question, buy or sell. The Warriors and Cavs will reach the finals undefeated.
Well, they still have one more round after this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sell. I don't think both of them will. Maybe the Cavs will. They have an easier path.
Yeah,
They have a way easier path.
I'll sell that too.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna be adventurous. I'm gonna buy that.
I mean,
I
the
think-
Warriors are great.
well-
The Warriors are
Well, they
great.
have to. The Cavs have to play against Boston. They might. They probably will have to.
I'm gonna buy it. I think that it's regardless. I really think they're just gonna both of those teams. I mean, it all depends on matchups as well, but I honestly think that they'll probably don't have to worry about anything, considering how talented and how much firepower each of those teams have.
Mhm.
So I think that just about does it
Yeah.
for my buy or sell questions.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening again to Two Birds and a Third Football Podcast. We'll be coming back again later this week, and we're going to start touching more into baseball as well, and we're going to cover more of the NBA playoffs coming up here as well this week.
Showtime, eh?
It's showtime.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you soon. Make sure to tune into our pages, like our Facebook, smash the like button on that YouTube page as well. And give us comments, give us things that you guys want us to talk about, that you guys want us to hear. We're here for you. So thank you.
And
Alrighty, peace out, guys.
Hopefully, we'll all be able to upload those weekly videos as well.
Yeah, we'll be
That'd
doing
be big.
we'll doing some more weekly videos, some small little individual posts about certain topics. So keep your eye out for those as well, guys.
All right. Cool.
Mhm.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Catch you guys later. See ya.